Good afternoon to you and welcome to Skills for Success here on NTV this afternoon, Wednesday the 18th of January 2022. Now this is episode 6. We have moved 5 miles. Now into episode 6 we're going to be looking at networking UTC Lira with Kalongo, Ora and Kitgum Technical Institutes for road, bridge as well as highway construction training. And I do have distinguished gentlemen this afternoon to have this dialogue with us. But to give you a background of Skills for Success, the agenda of the government of Uganda is to establish centers of excellence for technical, vocational education and training, and also to promote specialized and high standards of training, learning, as well as innovative research for better TVET solutions. As part of promoting the vocational training institutions and ultimately the lowest levels of technical and vocational training institutions through the Uganda Skills Development Project, which is USDP, government has partnered with growing centers of excellence with vocational training institutions for networking and mentorship purposes. Uganda Technical College, Lira, UTC Elgon, UTC Bushenyi and Bukalasa Agriculture College have each been networked with 3 vocational training institutions to improve the quality and relevance of training they provide. Now, to just give you a further preamble, the process commenced in 2016 with a national call for the vocational training institutions to benefit from the networking arrangements under the USDP, and particularly in networking, Uganda Technical College Lira was networked with Ora Technical Institute. It was also networked with Kitgum Technical Institute as well as Kalongo Technical Institute to support training in road, bridge as well as highway construction at the lower level. And I'm privileged to have the principals as well as the deputy principal to those institutions here with us in studio to discuss more in Skills for Success. My name is Priscilla Regina Nalwoga. Welcome. Now, allow me to have an introduction for our guests that will be deliberating the success road that they have so far taken. I have on my extreme left, I do have Mr. Okoda Weekly Booker. He is the principal, Ora Technical Institute, and that is in Zombo District, West Nile region. He's been the principal for 3 years. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Okoda.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Priscilla. Priscilla, when I hear your name, it just relates to the name of my daughter. I'm very happy to be here today. This is my first time, of course. Very grateful to the Ministry of Education, the Project Coordination Unit, and I want to say hello to the viewers and the listeners outside there. You're most welcome to this program. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Father.
Yeah,
next to him, we are joined by Mr. Oriem Dezold Santo. He is the Deputy Principal, Kitgum Technical Institute, which is found in Kitgum District. And guess what? For 22 years, he has been serving this nation, giving skills to the next generations. Thank you so much for your service, Mr. Oriem, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Priscilla. I'm called Oriem Dezold Santo. I'm really privileged to have the opportunity to be with the NTV Uganda. I greet all the viewers in Uganda. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. And then in the middle of these 2 distinguished gentlemen, we are also joined by Mr. Kisarach Godfrey Wilfred. He is the principal for Kalongo Technical Institute, and that is in Agago District. 3 years of service, and he's here to tell us the success story. Good afternoon to you, and you're most welcome.
Good afternoon, Madam Priscilla. Good afternoon, listeners and viewers. My name is Kisarach Godfrey Wilfred, the principal of Kalongo Technical Institute. We are here on the program of Skills for Success, more especially on road construction, bridge construction, and highway engineering. We are here on behalf of UTC Lira Center of Excellence. We are happy to represent the Ministry of Education on highway engineering. We want to say thank you to all the listeners who are listening to us and who are looking at us, who are viewing us. Thank you very much. We are located in Agago District, in Parabongo Sub-County, Parumu Parish, Lelakale Village. For those of you who can reach us, physically. For those of you who can't make it, you can reach us on our website, that is kalti.tvet.go.ug. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. And of course, this program is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and Sports, in ensuring that the young people, the future of our country, is properly skilled, and it's an all-round labor force that we'll be having in the near future. Now, speaking of the near future, we want to have a sneak peek into the technical and vocational education and training of students, and that was a workshop at UTC Lira, Kalongo VTI, as well as Aura Vocational Training Institute and the Kitgum Vocational Training Institute.
The agenda of the government of Uganda in establishing centers of excellence for technical vocational education and training is to promote specialized and high standards of training, learning, as well as innovative research for better TVET solutions. As part of promoting the sustainability of its initiatives, the government has ensured that its reforms agenda trickles down to vocational training institutions and ultimately the lowest levels of TVET in Uganda. Through the Uganda Skills Development Project USDP, government has partnered the growing centers of excellence with vocational training institutions for networking and mentorship purposes. Uganda Technical College Lira, UTC Elgon, UTC Bushenyi, Bukalasa Agriculture College have been networked with 3 vocational training institutions to improve the quality and relevance of the training they provide.
Our first approach is to build a center of excellence, for instance, for manufacturing. And we have the center of excellence networking with the VTIs. The VTIs are training at the lower level, and the centers of excellence are training at the higher level. And this is the approach we are going to maintain, so that we have a number of training institutions focusing at one sector, giving graduates or providing skills for that specific sector. Okay, so that we stop duplicating efforts. If you are for manufacturing, you train to deliver skills for manufacturing.
This process commenced in 2016 with a national call for vocational training institutions to benefit from networking arrangements under the USDP. Following an open call, thorough, competitive and transparent process, 12 vocational training institutions were selected from a multitude of applicants and networked with the Centers of Excellence. Under this arrangement, the Centers of Excellence were to provide leadership, best practices, spearhead research and support training in focused areas at the partner vocational institutions. Uganda Technical College Lira was networked with Aura Technical Institute, Kitgum Technical Institute and Kalongo Technical Institute to support training in road, bridge and highway construction at the lower level.
So whatever input we are putting in Lira is meant to ensure that they are able to train, they have the facilities, they have the infrastructure, and they have the curriculum that is designed for road construction. That is a challenge, that's a new area that we've not been having strongly in this country. So we will now all be going to Lira for road construction. However, again, to support Lira, we have 3 other institutions that are also being designed the same way to support road construction, and that includes Kitgum Technical Institute, Kalongo Technical Institute, and Aura Technical Institute. All of them are being upgraded, all of them are being capacity built, all of them have the equipment, and all of them have the infrastructure that is necessary for road construction.
In 2019, Aura Technical Institute, the only government-aided TVET institution in the Greater Nebi sub-region, qualified as a beneficiary of the Uganda Skills Development Project under the UTC Lira networking cluster. Established in 1992 by the Roman Catholic Church and later taken on by the government, URA Vocational Training Institute was networked with UTC Lira and dedicated to offer an internationally adapted competency-based certificate course in road construction and maintenance.
Now, the Uganda Skills Development Project has a core objective of enhancing the capacities of the institutions to deliver high-quality training in sector areas. Now, for URA Technical Institute, which is a benefiting institution to the Uganda Skills Development Project, it's going to specialize in road construction and maintenance. Currently, the courses that are being offered are the national certificates in automotive mechanics, building construction, electrical systems, plumbing, fashion and design, and then woodwork technology. These are national certificate courses which take a duration of 2 years. And at the end of the 2 years, our students are assessed by the Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board. So these are the core courses that we offer here. Besides that, we also have some short courses which are assessed by the Directorate of Industrial Training. These courses range from a period of 3 months to 6 months.
Through the USDP, a 4-classroom block and a modern heavy-duty machine shed was constructed at URA Technical Institute. The classroom block that was constructed houses fully fledged classrooms, a computer laboratory with 30 computers supplied through the USDP, and a fully stocked laboratory with industry-standard road, bridge, and highway construction equipment for training.
In enhancing the capacities of the institution, the World Bank supported us by constructing this training laboratory for testing materials for road construction works. They also constructed a heavy-duty machine shed. This heavy-duty machine shed is meant to store the heavy-duty road equipment like the graders, wheel loaders, and so on. The project also upgraded the electricity unit, the electricity power system. Formerly, we had only a transformer of 50 kVA, but under this project, they have upgraded it to 200 kVA, such that if we have any heavy machine, the power here can be able to run it without any problem. Now, besides that, again, the project also put for us a standby generator. You know, power in Uganda is not all that very reliable. It's not very stable. So in order to address that, the project put for us a standby generator, which is fully operational and is able to help us in case of any blackout.
A modern-day water system has been constructed, complete with a 250mm reservoir that distributes water to all facilities at the institute and the teachers' quarters, as well as neighboring communities.
Formerly, we had a borehole, and with the enrollment of our students of about 250, you find all the students lining up for water. The community also come for the same borehole to get water. So we found that it was really inconveniencing. So we appealed to the project, and they put for us a water pump, which is now pumping us for us water to a reservoir which is 52,000 liters. Now with this in place, water is no more a problem. Even the community come and fetch water here. We don't have that kind of lining up for water as before.
The institute has also received a new 36-seater coaster to facilitate student travel and learning.
I would like to thank the government through Uganda Skills Development Project, funded by the World Bank, in trying to improve and upgrade the facility at URA Technical Institute so that more youth can enroll in this school and get the basic training that they need to compete in the job market.
We need to mobilize and sensitize our community. Wherever there's any function or community gathering, we have to talk to our people. This is something which is to benefit them. It's not for outsiders. It's within our region. We need to benefit a lot from it.
As a local leader, we will be doing a lot of sensitization about the importance of the Technical Institute. I remember when the government of Uganda talking of skilling the youth, it is not on the air. He has brought it here. And I also have to really talk to my people that the world is very competitive.
Kalongo Technical Institute, a Roman Catholic-founded government-aided TVET institution, is under networking partner of UTC Lira. The institute was founded in 1982 and located at Lelakela village, Parumu Parish, Parabong Sub-County in Agago district. Although the institute started by training students under trees and in grass-thatched huts, Kalongo was gradually blessed with unmatched infrastructure that came through a government boost.
I'm one of the pioneer instructors of this institute, Kalongo Technical Institute. And we are training our trainees under the sets because of no classrooms.
And at the beginning of the institute, it had only 2 courses. The first course was BCP. The second course was carpentry and joinery. And at the instead of the courses, the students of BCP were only 4, and they were studying under that grass-thatched house. And the students of carpentry and joinery were 3, and they were studying. I think there's a tree next to the boys' dormitory.
The Technical Institute received a state-of-the-art administration block, classroom, as well as student hostels, workshops, and some staff accommodation facilities. To facilitate further transformation of the institute to provide specialized internationally accredited training in bridge and culvert construction through the USDP, the government constructed a 4-classroom block that houses classrooms and training laboratories for the new course at the institute. The institute also gained a toilet and laundry block, a generator house complete with a brand new heavy-duty generator, as well as a 36-seater coaster.
When you look at the distance of this place from town, we need transport. And we appreciate we have got 1 bus, which is now helping us for traveling with our students.
Training equipment, computers, photocopiers, projectors, and furniture were also provided under this arrangement.
We have got the equipment sent to us by the USDP for kicking off the training. For example, the dumping levels, the leveling staff, and very many, even the precision levels, the quick set levels, and very many apparatuses and tools. So I'm grateful for that.
Right now, we have this project where people are being trained in geological survey. They are being trained in civil engineering, bridge construction. I want to tell you this is wonderful, because as I talk now, there are a number of challenges in the local government technology. We call them bottlenecks. So when these people are trained, so our problem of connectivity, communication between sub-counties will be solved. Because under the road fund, some small money is given to the sub-counties to construct culverts so that pupils who are not able to cross from village A to the school are now able to cross and go to school even during the period when the streams are flooded. So this is a wonderful project. We are going to have experts.
As a woman representative, I am one of the happiest. We mobilize the girls. There are girls out there who have dropped out of school, and those who are interested to have a hands-on training, we are mobilizing them.
At the end of the day, when they complete the training, they're able to get employed, they're able to generate money for themselves, for their family. They're able to, it's actually one of the way of getting our people out of poverty.
Kitgum Vocational Training Institute, a church-founded, Government-aided technical institute located in Kitgum is a third beneficiary USDP institution that was networked with UTC Lira. The institute was specifically selected and earmarked to offer a 3-month internationally accredited competency-based short course in materials and soil testing.
They thought it very wise that at least they need to enhance or to improve on the quality of skilling the youth to fit in the world of work. And then it is the Uganda Skills Development Project which has donated to us a building which is for soil and testing laboratory.
Through the USDP, Kitgum Technical Institute has gained a 4-classroom block that is housing training laboratories as well as classrooms to support training. It has also received a generator house and a generator, training equipment, furniture, and ICT equipment like computers, projectors, photocopiers, as well as a 36-seater coaster to ease student learning.
We have had a very good opportunity to have our bus here, which is a support from the USDP. This bus has made our training very easy because we have some skills that you need to have a look at a particular place. When we talk about industrial installations, we need to move to an industrialized place. So we shall just only board on this, then we move there, other than hiring.
Each of the 3 networking institutions under the UTC Lira cluster have been adequately supported to provide training in the area of speciality. It is the ambition of the government to continue to empower these vocational training institutions to be the best they can be in providing quality training in their specialty trades. With the support of the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology and guidance of UTC Lira, Kalongo Technical Institute and Kitgum Technical Institute have all recruited new and well-trained instructors for the new courses. Through the USDP, the trainers, particularly those that are directly responsible for delivery of the new curricula, have undertaken special training to deliver the new courses both locally and in France.
We started this training as the instructors online with the training partner of Albertan Institute of Technology in Canada. It was online and we acquired it well. We are going also to transfer the knowledge to our young ones here so as to improve the road construction in Uganda.
Been trained in areas of soils and material testing, areas of surveying and land topography, areas of building constructions. We had a 3-month online training, which we were trained as to become trainers in our respective institutions and colleges where we belong. In my opinion, this training that we've had is more practical. When we look at our community, we really see that there are gaps in the practicals. You see that the community are lagging behind. So this training has equipped us with enough skills that even in our institutions we are able to assess the kind of roads that are constructed.
They have also enrolled and trained their first cohort of students who have completed training and are awaiting assessment before they undertake internship.
I am able to take different tests. For example, slum test, I can take it. Moisture content, I can take it. CBR, I can take it. And I can do grading of materials based in soil and testing. Not only that, we have also benefited in training for surveying, whereby I am able to use dumpy level, total station, and GNSS for picking points. Any materials, any kind of roadworks, we are able to handle.
A second cohort of trainees have now been enrolled to commence training.
Ifokia, who got his first diploma from Uganda Technical College Elgon, can quickly find a job. OK Kezia, who did a short baking course at Wakalasa Agricultural College, can start her own business. And Kato, who got certification in mechanics, can earn a steady income. Then so can you. Your situation can change for the better. Olina potential. Enroll in any certified TVET institution and get the right skills to start a new career today. For more information, visit our offices at the Ministry of Education and Sports or our website at www.education.go.ug. You can also call us on 0417 893 600 or 0414 257 038 or 0417 893 701.
Skills for Success has given you a sneak peek into the realities on ground when it comes to technical and vocational education and training here in Uganda. And we do definitely are looking at networking UTC Lira with Kalongo, Ora and Kitgum Technical Institutes, and we are focusing on road, bridge, as well as highway construction training. Now you can follow the hashtag Skills for Success across our social media platforms for engagement as well as comments, and also your questions are most welcome because these gentlemen here are definitely ready to answer some of the questions that we're going to be looking at. Now in regards to networking, as we have this conversation on Skills for Success, in this episode we want to first backtrack and understand where each one of these institutes has come from, the journey that has been behind them, where they stand right now in terms of success stories, as well as the challenges they have faced before coming into network and partnership with UTC Lira. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Okoda. In regards to this partnership, Ora Technical Institute in Zombe district, I believe, has registered a lot of impact in the district because in 2019, when the institute, being the only government-aided TVET institute in the Greater Nebi sub-region, you qualified as a beneficiary. Tell us about the institution and how that journey to qualification as a beneficiary has been.
Yeah, thank you very much, Priscilla. Once again, my name is Okoda Weekly Buka. I'm the principal Ora Technical Institute in Zombo district. I want to give a brief background of Ora Technical Institute. Matches have been there for the last 3 years now. At least I am now well versed with the background of the institution. Ora Technical Institute started in the year 1982. It was started by the Roman Catholic Church in Nyapea Catholic Mission. Then, because of lack of space, the institution was relocated to Nebi district. Actually, during the start of the institution, it was within the Nebi district. So it was relocated to Nebi town for some short period, and after which, because of limited space for expansion, the paramount chief of Aluru donated land in the present site. So the institute had to relocate to the present site where the institution is now standing. The institution is located in Paduor Ora village, Ogusi parish in Atiak sub-county, near River Ora. That's why the name Ora Technical Institute has come in. Once in a while, you will also see the name WAR. WAR is a business center. After crossing from Ora to, after crossing from the institution, you cross River Ora, then you go to WAR Trading Center. That's why the name of the institute in full now is Ora Technical Institute, WAR. Now, when the institute started, actually it started with only 2 courses, bricklaying and concrete practice, and then carpentry and joinery. But at that time, there was very little interest in the technical education. Very few people would enroll for these courses, and especially the girls. It was really hard to find girls enrolling for these courses. So the institution started expanding gradually until more courses were developed. And by that time, I want to say the courses that were started at that time were being examined by the Uganda National Examinations Board. So after which, more courses came in. We brought in courses like fashion and design, that is popularly called tailoring, which we thought would be able to attract the girls. We also introduced electrical installation. We also brought in plumbing, and then automotive mechanics. So some of these courses came in with the view that we also needed to involve ladies, because on record we have seen that girls perform even much better in the technical and vocational education and training. So we found that it was really necessary to bring courses which can easily attract the girls. By that time, the enrollment was very little. You would find at most the institution would have about 150 students. Then, when the Uganda Business and Technical Examinations, the Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board came in with the competence-based education and training curriculum. This curriculum was a lot enriched. It was quite enriched, and it now attracted many more students to enroll. So our population, after the coming in of the Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board, rose up to about 300 students. Now, I want to also bring in the issue of the skilling Uganda. Before that, people used to look at technical education as a very dirty job.
And one for failures.
And meant mainly for academic failures. Mm-hmm. But when the Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board brought in this, people began to see light. And they said, no, this is the direction we should go. And I think with the vision of our President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who got a lot of exposure in the developed countries, he brought in the issue of skilling Ugandans. That one came in around 2011. And the Skilling Uganda strategic plan came in the year 2012-2013. Now the objective of Skilling Uganda was really to enhance the skills of the citizens so that they engage in productive work in order to earn them income. The President saw that there was a lot of unemployment. People were making a lot of noise on the streets because they don't have employment. So the Skilling Uganda came in, and it attracted very many people who enrolled for the national certificate courses and even the short-term courses. So the Skilling Uganda strategy gave birth to the TVET strategic plan. Now the TVET strategic plan was to bring in a paradigm shift in the vocational education and training. Now when that came in, we saw changes coming in. Institutions, government was funding many institutions, although not all of them at the same time, but there was a lot of progress in the TVET subsector in terms of infrastructure, in terms of equipment, in terms of the human resource. So government began to put in a lot in the TVET subsector through the TVET Act and the TVET strategic plan. Now, in 2015, I think the President once again saw that the TVET strategic plan was not doing quite a lot as he had expected. So, I think with partnership with the World Bank, the strategic plan gave birth to the Uganda Skills Development Project. Now, the Uganda Skills Development Project was now to operationalize the TVET strategic plan. to put it into more action, to make it more vigorous. I remember when the Uganda Skills Development Project came in, it was really a very rigorous exercise in order for an institution to benefit. We had a lot of sleepless nights here and there to work, prepare documents for submission to the ministry, whose documents were, I think, ranked by the World Bank, and that's why we, the three VTI institutions who are here, qualified. It was really a rigorous exercise. So, the Uganda Skills Development Project came in with the primary objective of enhancing the capacities of the institutions to deliver high-quality, demand-driven skills in the target sectors. Now, for we, the VTIs who are here, we are networking with the Uganda Technical College Lira, which is now being referred to as the Center of Excellence. So with the USDP, a lot was done. The human capacity development were done through workshops, through trainings. And as I talk now, I am pretty sure, I'm very grateful that government has done a lot to enhance the capacities of our instructors, of the institutions who have benefited from the USDP and the ARSDP projects. I know in Uganda we still have a lot to do. The USDP has not done fully, but from where we were up to the present state, somebody can easily say government has done a lot. And as of now, the level of enrollment has grown up. We have grown up in enrollment because what has been injected through this project has attracted the wananchi outside there to come and enroll for these courses. So, with the USDP under UTC Lira as a Center of Excellence, we were given, we took up the course of highway engineering and road construction trades. But under this course, there are other 4 programs which I want to say. One is road construction and maintenance. Number 2 is topography and land surveying. 3 is materials testing. Then 4 is bridge and culvert construction. The Center of Excellence Lira is training in all these 4 areas. Meanwhile, for us, the VTIs have picked on one of the core courses plus an additional one. So I want to say for Aurora Technical Institute, we took up road construction and maintenance, and then topography and land surveying. Because we found that in order for one to construct a road, you cannot start constructing a road anyhow. You have to first of all do the survey. You have to survey, take levels before you begin constructing the road. That's why we brought in the element of topography and land surveying. So these 2 courses, which we have already started under the Uganda Skills Development Project, has attracted very many applicants. There are some who are on the waiting list because we cannot absorb all of them at the same time, because our key priority area is to offer skills, and these skills must be the skills that are required in the world of work. That's why at the moment we try to limit the number of trainees so that we give them the real hands-on skills of which when they go out, they are able to be absorbed in the world of work without any query. So far, we have already trained 72 students under the road construction and maintenance and topography and land surveying. That has been the first cohort who are now doing their internships. We are monitoring them and they are doing well. The industry is impressed with the quality of work these trainees are doing. We have already enrolled the second cohort who are already on the ground. They are about 68 because according to the project we are supposed to train 150. After which they leave it to us, the ministry will leave it to us now to continue with further trainings. But those 150 are the lot that has been under the USDP.
And when you talk about the internship training that you've been offering to the students that have subscribed to the training, where are they doing the internship and for how long does that internship run? Because ideally for formal education, internship runs for 3 months. So what is it like on that side?
Yeah, under the Uganda Skills Development Project, our internships for the VTIs run for 1 month. Meanwhile, for the Center of Excellence, their internships run for 2 months, because the Center of Excellence, they are training at a higher level than we, the VTIs. And the duration of our training at the VTI level is 3 months, but hands-on training, because the USDP has given us the equipment. I can call them the high-tech equipment, which no one can doubt. Because if you put the equipment here and you use the equipment, you are able to get exactly what you need. So we are very grateful to the Uganda Skills Development Project, to the Ministry of Education and Sports and the World Bank for this support, which has really transformed our institutions.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Okoda. Now, in reference to networking and support that has been received, we also do have Kalongo Technical Institution. It's also been established by Roman Catholic, founded, government-aided TVET. And this institution has also been in the business of networking with UTC Lira. Now, being founded in 1982, it's been here for quite a long time. And this gentleman has served this institute for 22 years. Mr. Kisarat Godfrey, as one that has been at the institute as a principal for 3 years, could you give us a background of why the institute was established in the first place, and Agago district in particular? What were the needs at that time that were being addressed with the establishment of Kalongo Institute?
Thank you, Madam Priscilla. My name is, first of all, Kisarash Godfrey Wilfred, the principal of Kalongo. Let me give you a brief background still of Kalongo Technical Institute, because many people may not be knowing much about Kalongo. Kalongo Technical Institute started as a Roman Catholic founded, government aided in the year 1983 with the 2 traditional courses. The 2 traditional courses are carpentry and joinery, bricklaying and concrete practice. By then, there was need for skills in these areas. The communities could not access. Therefore, the need came into open. So the purpose was to provide skills, competitive skills, to the youth for self-reliance, sustainability and development. That was the purpose of opening this technical institute in Kalongo Technical Institute in Agago district by then. And this institution is in Lelakale village, Parumu parish, Parabongo sub-county in Agago district. It is seated on 47.4 acre piece of land, which is titled. So, Madam Priscilla, we have a land title for that institution. And right now, as I talk, the school is upgraded. We have more courses from the 2 traditional courses. We have expanded to over 6 courses. We now have courses like fashion design, formerly called tailoring and cutting garments, which was introduced to cater for the girl child education, because the carpentry and joinery and bricklaying and concrete practice would not attract the girl child to enroll. But because of the need of bringing in the girl child to also enroll for skills, for success, there was need to bring the 3rd course, that is tailoring of fashion and design. After some years, there came another course that is electrical installation. Again, there came motor vehicle mechanics, which we are now calling automotive mechanics. Then in the year 2015-16, there came agriculture, because there was need also to have skills for the members of the community to bring transformation in areas of agriculture, because we have a lot of pieces of land which we need to utilize it profitably. There came in agriculture. After agriculture, there came in another course in plumbing, and recently we have the new courses in road construction and maintenance, which is in place, which has attracted a good enrollment. At the moment, our programs are being run under two categories. One, for short and long. But in this very program of the USDP on the road construction, with the support of the USDP, we are running the courses for 3 months. It is a short course. After which, the ministry will, the USDP will hand over the programs to us. A lot has been done since the year 2016, when this project started. There has been capacity building for the staff. The staff have been taken through capacity building. It has been inland and offshore. Inland, we have been having training with our Center of Excellence Lira. Our staff have been going through in UTC Lira for training in areas of our specialization of road survey, ICT, bridge construction. Then offshore, recently our staff were taken to France in December, and have come, they went for the same. So a lot have been done.
Still under the Uganda
Skills Development. Not only this, equipments. We are well equipped in these areas. In the year 2022, the government of Uganda, with the support from the World Bank, supported us with a lot of equipments in areas of road construction, bridge construction, land survey and topography, then ICT. So we are well equipped and ready to undertake this training for the Ugandans. Not only this, a lot of success have already been achieved. There have been a lot of achievements. We recruited students who have already successfully completed their courses in areas of land survey and in areas of bridge construction and maintenance. They have already been assessed by the National Examination Board, that is the Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board. Right now, as I talk, we have already dispatched them to the world of work, that is to the industries. Ooh. Therefore, their industrial training.
And how many have you dispatched?
We dispatched 26. Okay. The first group or the first cohort were 26th. So those are the ones we have dispatched to the world of work. We have not only been supported in these areas alone, in terms of infrastructure. When you look at the institute right now, we have been supported, our buildings have been improved. There have been a new classroom block which was constructed, comprising of the ICT lab, comprising of the soil and material testing lab, comprising of the office for the staff. So this is for the purpose of skilling the Ugandans and in order to transform the communities. Because the purpose of these institutions are to transform members of the community. There have been a lot. There were online trainings for our managers, for administrators, and the instructors. We have been in collaboration with UTC Lira. We have been linked in many areas. The online training for managers and the instructors was done for the staff of UTC Lira and the VTIs. So it was together with the Northern Albertine Institute of Technology, which is in Canada. So they were the one with whom we were undertaking this training.
As an exchange program. Okay.
As an exchange program. So when you go to the institute, we find there is a great change. In terms of cleanness, we have done a lot. We have maintained our environment. All the support came from the USDP, Uganda Skills Development Project. So we are grateful for the government of Uganda. And when you look back at the history of our institution, the technical institution, from the year 1983, we had low enrollment. But now as we talk, our enrollment has risen, has greatly risen. The staffing position was also low, because the main courses were bricklaying and concrete practice and then carpentry. Now when you look at the courses we are offering now, they are demand driven, they have attracted many customers. So the enrollment have greatly improved. The staffing position has risen. And when you look back, right from that time, the institute has dispatched over 6,000 with these other courses, students to the world of work, who have already got gainful employment. Others are with the public, others are with the private institutions. Others are within the country, others are outside the country. So we should appreciate government of Uganda under the skilling for success. A lot has been done. There's been a lot of transformation, and we hope for more to be done. When you look at the institution, when we come back to the infrastructure still, we have a well-furnished dormitory for the girl child. So the space is quite enough. If you have girl childs who are ready to undertake technical courses, they are most welcome. As I talk, already on the table we have a lot of people who have submitted the application to enroll for the year 2023. So we are seeing a lot of progress in TVET institutions. So we expect the enrollment to rise in all our institutions to a bigger number. So we are grateful to the government of Uganda for all what has been done. So when you go back to the achievement, one of the achievements which we got was the provision of the transformer. We had a smaller transformer which would not help run bigger equipment. But recently they supported us with the 315 kVA, which can run bigger equipments. So the government has done a lot. And as I talk now, we can pump our water with the help of the transformer or the electricity which has been connected. We are now connected on power. So there's been a lot of achievement. So with this, I want to thank the government of Uganda under the leadership of His Excellency, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the First Lady, who is the Minister of Education and Sports, for the support, and our TVET department, and all the Ugandans for the good work being done. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kisarach, Kalongo Technical Institute there. Him giving an account of where the institute started from. That was in 1983, and many years down the road, they have definitely registered their mission, which was to provide competitive skills for self-reliance, sustainability, as well as social development. Some of the successes that they have registered under the Uganda Skills Development Program since they got into bed with it in 2016 building and were put under UTC Lira. One of them, he has mentioned the new transformer that now enables them to actually aid the skills to the next generation, as well as ensure that they utilize everything that they have on the many acres of land that you mentioned. How many acres of land were this?
47
acres of land. Definitely a new transformer is aiding a lot. He has also talked about the staff capacity building, the exchange program that they've had with the foreign partnerships courtesy of World Bank that have boosted the skills of the facilitator themselves and have enabled them to do their job more competently, but also equipment support, and they pride in having dispatched 26 students out into the job market right now that are competent in what we are looking and focusing on today, which is road bridge construction. Now, allow us to also go to the third beneficiary who is also enjoying the benefits of being partnered and networking with UTC Lira, and that is definitely going to be Kitgum Technical Institute. Now, this technical institute has also been subscribing to the support that they've been getting from UTC Lira, and for years they've also registered some successes. But where did it all begin from? What was the intent initially? What were the courses they were offering? And over the years, how have they been able to upgrade and skill the generation presently with technical skills? Because as Mr. Okoda had alluded, that formal education was the one that people prided in, but today skills development is also been very, very important. Now, we're going to be taking a short break, and then when we return, we're going to be picking it up with Mr. Oriam to give us a brief background of Kitgum Technical Institute. Do stay with us.
701.
Welcome back into our second hour of Skills for Success program here on NTV. Privileged to be in your company. And episode 6 this afternoon, we're covering networking, UTC Lira with Kalongo, Ora and Kitgum Technical Institutes for road, bridge, as well as highway construction training. The hashtag across our social media platforms is Skills for Success. And this program is powered by the Ministry of Education as well as the World Bank that is aiding in terms of financing and funding the existence and sustainability of this program, which is under the Uganda Skills Development Project. And the government in particular has partnered with growing centers of excellence with vocational training institutions for networking and mentorship purposes. My name is Priscilla Regina Naloga, and in the past hour we have had an account of the partnerships and mentorships from the different institutions. So far we have heard from Ora Technical Institute. Mr. Okoda, who's the principal there, has done a good job in highlighting to us the benefits that they've had, and allow me to go through some of the things that he has made mention of. So far they pride in a cohort of 150 students, which is something that they are priding in. They're also priding in the fact that now it is a competence-based and training curriculum that they are offering to the young Ugandans. But he has also talked about the mindset change that has come with this network and partnership and investment from this program, and the enhancement of skills that are now productive to the Ugandan. They can expand their wings to the market. It doesn't have to be limited to fashion design, bricklaying, as was the initial plan when the establishment came up under the chart. Now we have also taken a look at Kalongo Technical Institute, and Mr. Kisarach, who's the principal there, has also given us an account. Of course, their mission was to provide competitive skills for self-reliance, sustainability and social development since 1983, and so far they've been able to cater to skills development both for the girl child and the boy child, which is something that I commend them for. They have looked into road construction and maintenance, and under the Uganda Skills Development Program they have been able to have staff capacity building that they pride in, equipment support. They have dispatched 26 into the job market as we speak today, and of course the new infrastructure that has enabled them to extend their skills to more and more people. Now, away from that, let us go to the third beneficiary under UTC Lira, and that is Kitgum Vocational Training Institute. Mr. Oriem Santo, who's the deputy principal there, is going to be giving us an account of the institution, where it started from, what was the vision then, and where it stands right now, given that everything has changed over the course of time. But of course, specifically, Kitgum Vocational Training Institute was earmarked and selected to offer 3 months internationally accredited competency-based short courses in materials as well as soil testing, which again falls under the roads, bridge and highway construction training. My name is Priscilla Regina Naloga, your host into this hour. Now, Mr. Oriem, 22 years of service with this institute. You definitely have pamphlet of the history of this institute and what impact it has had on Kitgum district in terms of imparting technical and vocational skilling.
Thank you, the moderator. I'm called Oriem Dizol Santo, a long-serving servant in Kitgum district, in Kitgum Technical Institute. A brief background of Kitgum Technical Institute. Kitgum Technical Institute started way back by the Roman Catholic Church, who were based in Kitgum town. It started in the year 1970s, early 1970s, as a rural trade school, which was set basically because these Roman Catholics, when they came, they wanted a decent building, unlike ours. So there was a need for workforce. And they had to introduce bricklaying and contract practice as the first course by then in the rural trade school, followed by carpentry and joinery. Because when you build the wall, you need to cover the wall. That's why they brought in carpentry and joinery later. It went on like that, training interested ones. By then, people were not interested even in technical education. They took it that it is a last resort in education, in life, to say. So people were not interested, and gradually they began to lure people, and they saw technical education as the source to earn, as the source to life. And Technical Institute Kitgum, by then being a rural trade school, it transformed in the year 1980s to a level of Uganda Junior Certificate, UTC. Thereafter, the government came in, at least to support the school, and it was transformed to be an institute to date in the year 1984-5 there. That is when it became a technical institute. It is the longest and it is the oldest generally in northern Uganda. People from, by then, we had a district as Kitgum, which was having the catchment areas in the current districts of actually sub-region, those 8 districts. They were the feeders for students to be trained in Kitgum Technical Institute. The institute has enough facilities, enough instructors, teachers, and the enrollment. At first, by then, when it was a rural trade school, people were not interested, as I told you. And it was mainly people who were close to the mission who were offered that chance to be educated. Then gradually people saw that is a way of living, and they came in, and the number grew from that time as it was being transformed from a rural trade school to a technical institute, there were also courses which were coming in. You know, the missionaries, they have vehicles. They wanted people to repair their vehicles. They introduced motor vehicle. And most of them who were being trained, they were employed in missionaries' places, in missions, to help work there. Then when the issue of broadening it came in, getting the number increased. So people were many. The mission alone could not absorb them. So they started going to government garages, workshops, and farms to be employed. And as we talk now, our enrollment has grown. Yearly, at least yearly, we have a total of 200 graduates being released yearly. And if you take from, specifically speaking, from the year 1980s, when it became a technical institute to date, you will get the number of graduates who have graduated from the institute. Mm-hmm. The institute also, as it started by the mission, and the government came in to give helping hand, because the missionaries alone cannot sustain it. And the government came in, and the government is doing a lot. To date, as we speak, the government is doing a lot for us. What we have at the moment, as to say what we have benefited much from the government, started around 2015-16 there, when the issue of skilling Uganda came in. The government was giving us tools, they were giving us equipments, they gave us also some computers which we are using for training the students. You know, these days people are moving digital, and there is need of computer, and we have enough computers there to train the learners. Kitgum Technical Institute is sitting on a very small land of about 22.4 hectares only. But it is very, very, very productive in terms of producing competent learners to fit in the world of work. If you move around these districts, at least anywhere you get in some workshops, others are self-employed, others are employed by the farms, others are by the government. At least in all these districts you move, especially in Uganda. Recently, just some 2 days ago, I was called briefly by somebody I didn't know, but as we started introducing, I found he was my student in the year 2020, in the year 2004. He's well based here in Kampala. So the institute is producing competent learners to fit in the world of work. As the motto is, education for self-reliance. After being educated, at least you go and fit in the world of work. You don't beg. Those days they look at technical education as the last resort for those who cannot perform academically in the formal sector. But these days, viewers, let me assure you, to have a good and a developed home, please, you go for technical education. At the moment also, as we see, schools are opening. Schools are opening. And as we were coming this way, invited, we have left there heaps of applications. These days we short out. At least we don't also want these, those who have failed. We get those who can apply science, because without science, there's nothing you can do. So let them not take that, I want to send my child there because he has failed. No. The child may not be admitted, because we also need people who can, if he comes after training him or her, you call him or her to come and wire your building. And if it is not properly wired, the building is blown. And it will be a very big blow. So we also need people who are science-based in education. In around 1980s, 80s there, the school was not having good structures. And as it was developing, the government came in and they're donating buildings to us. As we talk now, we have enough facilities. Take, for instance, the dormitories. We have the dormitories which are enough for both girls and the boys to be accommodated in. Uganda Skills Development Project came in, as my colleagues have mentioned. We have benefited so much from them, and I don't want to repeat much of what they have said. Kitgum Technical Institute is specializing in soil and material testing. And we have also brought in the land survey and photography, which is also as one of the courses we are offering. But at the moment it is for short course, which is 4 months only. And as we talk now, we have the first cohort, which we have sent them for industrial training. They are there in good enough. Kitgum is benefiting from improving the roads within the municipality, and they're all placed there. They're getting more of what was not told to them in the class. You know, with the technical education, you may not have all the tools and equipments to train, but if you expose them, if you send them out for industrial training, which is even the major essence of sending them to go and enhance on what they might not have got from the class. And they're there, very busy.
And how many have you sent out for the industrial training?
We have sent out 15 only.
Okay.
15 only outside there. And they're there in this Chinese road construction in Kitgum district, municipal. They're there working. They're having that training, which will end very soon. They're there for 1.5 months only. Because for us, as the VTI, we don't go beyond that. It is the Center of Excellence which may take their students for placement for 2 months. Ours is from 1 to 1.5 months, we enter there. Kitgum Technical Institute has benefited from USDP. We have at the moment, although it is not yet completed fully, we have a generator which is being supplied to us, which will help us in case of power shortage, power breakage. For our machines, we shall have the generator ready. They have motorized for us our borehole. We used to have the borehole undriven, but at the moment we are having a motorized one, which is supplying water to the entire institute, and the staff quarters will also benefit. The community also will benefit, because we live together with the community, and the community also lives with us. Without them, we will not have good life, because they are also to protect our properties, as it may be vandalized. But if you are there with them, you will not have those equipments vandalized. We have equipments enough, which is supplied by USDP for the training. The only challenge is that maybe in future the land will be small, since the government is coming to support us, because we have a restricted land which was by then given to us by the missionaries, and there is no expansion. So if the government will continue supporting us, we may request them to at least give us storage building, which will cover a small land, small area, with enough rooms for the training. Otherwise, the school is okay. The catchment area for the learners, it is even up to this end here in Kampala. We have some 2 Baganders with us there. For us, we don't restrict. We go across Uganda. We get whoever wants to. And at the moment, those who can have the website for Kitgum, they will get application forms there. And the website is the Kitgum Technical Institute, just a simple one. And they will have the forms there. They can fill and send for us online, and we receive it. Then we send for them. If the person has qualified, we send for him the admission letter, and he or she comes on the date of reporting. The institute is well fenced. Security-wise, it is well fenced. At the moment, it's okay. We have good playground with us for all types of games. And Kitgum Technical Institute also, it has been with these examination bodies. If you take the percentage pass for the learners, it has never gone below 50. And one time it went to 98.3% pass. And we had some 2 good students from there. There were some 2 good students who were from Kitgum Technical Institute. So Kitgum Technical Institute is well known to everybody. It is only reaching the school which may not have access to all. Otherwise, the school is in an open place, just 1.5 kilometers only from the center of the town, which is easily accessed even. This institute here, when USDP came, they also started supporting the instructors in for capacity building. And there was online training for some instructors. There was a training which ended up by taking some instructors up to France to go and see how technology in other world is benefiting the government.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Oriam. Now, of course, he has alluded to the fact that he too, courtesy of Kitgum Technical Institute, they've been able to benefit in terms of tools and equipment support. They've also gotten computers from the Skills Development Program here in Uganda, and also computer learning itself has been enhanced because their mission is education for self-reliancy. And they also pride in structured development support that they have gotten gotten from the Center of Excellency at UTC in Lira, and so many other things. And of course, the students that they do have in industrial training, I like the fact that they're being attached to the municipality itself so that they can be able to then dispense the skills that they have learned into the place where they actually live. Now, that is definitely something for me that is a take. Hashtag skills for success across our social media platforms, NTV Uganda on Facebook as well as Twitter. When we return, we're going to be looking into how exactly these institutes are actually going to be aiding ICT, because it's the way forward. And we're going to be also looking into the consideration of the expansion plans after the program. But this has been episode 6 of networking with the UTC in Lira, and of course the institutes that have been networked, Ora Vocational Institute, Technical Institute. You also do have so many other benefits that they have talked about. I like the fact that now they are future forward, including women and attracting women to be a part of road construction, bridge construction, highway construction, and for me that is a pride. We also do have Kalongo Technical Institute that has alluded to the fact that they are creating self-sustainability and development of the people in their community, and that has gone a long way in the things that they have attained, and they're going to be using them to send back into the community a better skilled generation. But also Kitgum Technical Institute that has also prided in the fact that they have influenced education in Kitgum district for the last so many years. Now, in conclusion, we just want to look at the fact that at the end of the day, this is definitely a networking partnership that the Ministry of Education, courtesy of the World Bank, created under the Uganda Skills Development Program. And you do have the UTC Lira cluster that has been adequately supported and provided with training in the areas of specialty, such as what you have looked at in materials and soil testing, so for some of the institutions in there. So with the support of this Northern Alberta Institute of Technology and the guidance of the UTC Lira, Kalongo Technical Institute, as well as Kitgum Technical Institute and Ora Technical Institute, they've been able to recruit new and well-trained instructors in the different capacities for the new courses that they have adopted in road, highway, as well as bridge construction. And then those trainers have been able to get onto the new curriculum with the exchange program from more experienced more experienced expatriates, such as from France. But they've also been able to enroll their first cohorts. Ora has enrolled 150. You do have Kalongo that has started in 26 and the 15 at Kitgum Technical Institute. So all these undertaking assessment and internship right now, and we await the positive results and the impact that is going to be having on a skilled generation, a skilled future for Uganda. At the end of the day, everything that you can do with your hands can actually give you sustainability and also create development for our country. It used to be that formal education was the one that everyone turned to, and if there were failures in formal education, then they were flipped to do technical training. Well, right now as we speak, the Ministry of Education has taken it a notch higher, and they are now including technical training, vocational training in the primary and secondary school curriculums that are being developed for the future. Now that means that you're going to be having an all-round Uganda that is going to be coming to the job market, which is definitely good for the economic development and social development of this country. It's been a wonderful afternoon, and I trust that you have been able to pick up on this conversation. If you have not been able to watch the entire episode, you can recap on our YouTube channel, NTV Uganda. Skills for Success. My name is Priscilla Regina Naluga. Good evening. All right. right, into the second part of Skills for Success, episode 6, looking at networking and the partnerships that the three institutes who have given us an account of the roadmap since 2016 of joining the Uganda Skills Development Program and what they've benefited from it. We want to find out, as the program is coming to an end, how do they intend to advance independently and individually in the skills that they have gotten, the competency that has been added to them, and of course the tools and equipment that has been given to them. How do they intend to then move forward and expand to more, and also touch on some of the things that were presented in their different submissions. My name is Priscilla Regina Naloga. It's Skills for Success, part 2. Now I am joined by Mr. Okoda. I'll start with you, Mr. Okoda. You did make mention of mindset change and how initially it was difficult for you to break the barrier of the community in terms of perception of skills development. How has you participating and networking with UTC Lira enabled mindset change for yourself as a principal, for your staff, for the students actually taking on these new courses, and the community embracing the benefits of the new courses?
Yeah, thank you very much once again, Madam Priscilla, and the viewers outside there. As I said before, this Uganda Skills Development Project was designed in such a way that the Center of Excellence networks with the 3 VTIs. Well, to the viewers there, when we talk about VTIs and technical institutes, we are still referring to the same thing. This should not confuse us. So our networking with the Uganda Technical College Lira, which is the Center of Excellence in highway engineering and road construction trades, has really enabled us to mobilize and sensitize the community, to create awareness about these programs. I must thank the brain that designed this Uganda Skills Development Project, because under that there were funds that were allocated for us for mobilization under the subcomponent of communication, marketing and rebranding TVET. Madam Judith, as a communication specialist, did a lot, who is under the project, did a lot to train our institutional relations officers to develop their skills in marketing. So with this, we did a lot of community sensitizations. We went to radios within the West Nile sub-region, in Ipakwach, in Nebi, in Arua. We had several radio talk shows just to mobilize the community, sensitize them about these programs. And as I talk now, the community is well aware and they know what Ora Technical Institute is doing. And that's why we were able to enroll a bigger number for these 2 programs, these two new programs under the Uganda Skills Development Project. And we are very sure that even though the project has come to an end, we shall be able to maintain these programs for the rest of the life of the institution. Because with the facilities that the USDP has provided, there is a training laboratory with the equipment. I remember I said these are high-tech equipment. You can't find them anyhow. And they are very costly. With the capacity of our instructors that has been built to make use of the equipment, we are going to be able to train our students with the right skills that the world of work requires. I am not going to be a liar when I say this laboratory which we have in Ora it's the only one we have within the West Nile sub-region. And this equipment, I'm very sure we are going to allow the districts within the sub-region or even outside to come and test their materials within our institution, within the laboratory, in the laboratories. And when we do that, we are going to get some little income which will help us sustain this laboratory for a long time. Through the project also, we received a 30-seater bus and a 7-ton tipper truck. These vehicles they're brand new, and as of now, with the sensitization that we have made, the community come in to hire for their services.
Okay.
At a fee. Now, when they do that, those are sources of income which we have set up. We have already opened an account specifically for transport so that if somebody comes in and wants to hire the bus or the truck, they pay the money direct to the account.
And is it a negotiable fee or it's a standard fee that you have set?
It's negotiable. We want to be flexible to the community. We can't be rigid that this is 5 million in a day. It is negotiable.
Okay.
So that this money will help us in maintaining this equipment.
So even if there's negotiable, which is the bare minimum amount that you will be hiring them out?
Well, for example, if we take the case of a bus, it would depend on the distance where somebody would wish the bus to take them to. For example, of recent, we took some people to Mbale. Mbale, actually, we took some pupils of Zombo district to Mbale, and I think that one brought us about 7 million shillings, which we have kept in the account. I want to say that these equipment, the bus and the truck, they are really very expensive to maintain.
Okay.
And if we are not careful, within a short time, if it breaks down, we may not have the money to put them right. That's why we have set up that in order to help us in maintaining them.
All right, let me turn to Mr. Kisarat. You mentioned that when the Institute started for you, in regards to gender equality, there was a challenge because initially it was bricklaying and carpentry, which was focusing on boys. Now, to attract girls to the institution, you had to come up with short courses like tailoring, which now you call fashion and design. Today, you have been given skills, equipment and support in road construction, bridge, as well as highway construction. Now, we can no longer say it's not competent for women to do those kind of jobs. We have seen women driving trucks, and so it's not an odd job for women. How do you intend to attract the girl child to come on board and partake of these skills?
Thank you, Madam Priscilla, listeners and viewers. As Kalongo, our plan to sustain and to attract the girl child education. One, we have a plan of making sure that they pay fees, 80% of the total amount of fees, so that we attract more number of girl child. That is one of the arrangements in order to attract more girl child education in Kalongo Technical Institute. We cannot make them pay like the boy child. Then we also have a program of rewarding the best performing girl child in the TVET. Besides that, we retain the enrollment of girl child in Kalongo Technical Institute. There are a lot of arrangements to make sure that we improve on girl child or gender sensitivity. In terms of staffing also, our plan is to make sure that each department should have at least 10 to 20% of the staff, so that it can attract the girl child education.
And confident.
Whether it being a mechanical engineering course, whether it being electrical, at least we want to have 20% of the staff who are female. Whether it being in road construction, our plan is to have staff who are females. Those are our plans in order to make sure that we enroll and retain the number of girls in these TVET courses. In the past, people used to only go for courses like tailoring, but today the things have changed. The girl child can enroll in any of the TVET courses. In order to do this, we just want to improve on our staffing position. We should attract the girl child. We make sure that we have staff who are female.
Okay.
That is our approach. In order to sustain the ICT or the computer, which we already have, our plan is to enroll. We make it a fully fledged course. We make other programs like weekend program for people to enroll for it, so that we have some money which can help in sustaining them, so that they last. Then another plan is to have in our budget line at least 5 computer desktop to be purchased annually. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right. Speaking of the girl child, we do have our viewers who are on our online audience. You do have Precious Gospel Precious, who has sent us a comment and said, keep on going, principals and deputy principal. Make this country proud with what you're doing. TVET is the country's direction now if Uganda wants to thrive in the future. Well, thank you so much, Precious Gospel. We also do have Kato Tomasi, who has come out to participate in the hashtag Skills for Success. Thanks NTV for marketing technical courses. Well, you're most welcome, Kato. We also do have Tiondi Charles, who is saying, bravo, the principals of Ora, Kitgum and Kalongo Technical Institute for the energetic talk show. He's watching from Eastern Uganda. Well, thank you so much, Charles, for being a part of this dialogue this evening. Hashtag Skills for Success. You can be sharing your comments and views. Now, as I turn to Mr. Oriam in conclusion, I want to find out from you. You have sent your first cohort of 15 to Kitgum municipality. I believe that you are in partnership with the different government programs, such as the parish development model. So with what has been supported to you in this network under UTC Lira, how do you intend to then merge and marry with other programs, such as the PDM?
Thank you, Priscilla, and the viewers outside there. Kitgum Technical Institute have sent the first cohort in line with the USDP short course training. It is not only that one, we have also sent out the formal students for national certificates. They are also within the municipality. Always they are our partner during industrial training. We always send them either at the district or private entities within the municipality and outside. To sustain the program, it is by sensitizing the community who are now aware of what Kitgum Technical Institute is offering in technical field. It is not only those 2 I mentioned. We so far have 8 different courses which are there, both for certificate level and for short course level. All those certificate courses, they also have the short course, which is examined by DAT. So in line with the Paris Development Program, which is on, it is now the institute in line with the government officials to write a project, and if we write, if it is accepted, then we involve the students in that. At the moment, it is not yet there, but we plan to have it.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Mr. Oriab. Now, I'm looking at some of the comments on our social media here. On Facebook, we do have Watea Fred, who's saying, it's our pleasure to have our great men behind TVET mindset change in the communities on the ground. Thank you, NTV and Uganda Skills Development Program for marketing, technical development and education. We also do have Primon Okema, who says, I want to thank the government of Uganda, particularly Uganda Skills Development Program, and he's making a comment to Mr. Oriam. Kitgum Technical Institute is still wanting the construction of the classroom block, generator house, water pump, water reservoir have not yet been completed. Do you want to make a comment on that?
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Okema Primo. That is one of the beneficiaries for soil and soil and material testing. At the moment, he is also for industrial training. Mr. Okema, the project had some standstill, of which it was beyond us, our control. But be contented, be contented that within some few months from today, you will have all those buildings completed. If you go there right now, you will get all the materials, especially for roofing, the generator house. It is ready in place. They are only waiting to do the work.
Okay.
The issue of the water reservoir, if you move around the compound, you will get trenches for laying the pipes. And I was told they have laid the pipes ready.
All right.
They have covered it, and very soon we shall have running water.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
So be contented.
Yeah.
It will be completed.
Okay, be contented. It will be completed. Thank you so much for that submission. Well, that brings us to the full conclusion of Skills for Success, Episode 6. I was joined by Mr. Okoda Weekly, who's the Principal, Ora Technical Institute. Thank you so much. I was also joined by Mr. Kisarach Godfrey, Principal, Kalongo Technical Institute in Agago District. Asante sana for all the support that you're giving to Agago District in educating as far as technical skilling is concerned. And Mr. Oriam Santo, we also want to say thank you so much as your capacity Deputy Principal, Kitgum Technical Institute, for ensuring that the district of Kitgum has fully skilled and competent people. Now that brings us to the end, but for those of you that have been online, thank you so much for your participation and your viewership and comments on this program. It's been very, very intriguing, but at the end of the day, each of these three networking institutions under the UTC Lira cluster have been adequately supported to provide training in the area of speciality. It is the ambition of the government to continue to empower these vocational training institutions to be the very best that they can be in providing quality training in their specialty trades. And that is courtesy of the Uganda Skills Development Program, which is being powered by the Ministry of Education as well as the World Bank, to which we say thank you so much for your financial arm in ensuring that we do have a skilled future in Uganda. That brings us to the end of this program. My name is Priscilla Regina Naloga. Until the 7th episode, have yourselves a good evening.